We hold these truths to be self-evident, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. That wasn't just grand rhetoric, it was a moral yardstick. It insists nations are founded on justice and consent, and when governments betray those ideals, people must push back, non-violently if possible. But sometimes history suggests darker choices are forced upon us. Tonight, we'll weigh those choices, past and present, through the lenses of Jefferson, Locke, Paine, Rousseau, and Arendt. We'll explore Augustine and Aquinas' just war theory. We'll ask, when is war or revolution the noblest path? Are Israel, Iran, America even remotely there yet? And in a world scarred by genocide, climate collapse, authoritarianism, what must we decide? John Locke and Thomas Paine believed political power is a contract. Rulers exist to serve the people's rights to life, liberty, and property. When that contract is broken, revolution becomes not just legal, but moral. Rousseau brings us further. A society fractured from its own will loses legitimacy. Liberty dies. And then, what? Enter Hannah Arendt, who fled Germany to understand totalitarianism. She taught us it didn't begin with boots at the door, but whispers in living rooms, papers burned, dissent silenced. And when borders close for Jews under Hitler decision windows vanish. Lesson: watch signs early or history closes them for us. Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. believed freedom was best won through suffering, not inflicting it. They asked, can force ever build the world we want, or only mirror the oppressor? Nonviolent resistance carries moral force. It exposes injustice. It lets the oppressor become tyrant in their own skin. But it asks enormous courage and sometimes costs lives. Just war theory, starting with Augustine and refined by Aquinas, says violence may be permitted but never virtually chosen. Let's look at the principles of jus ad bellum. Legitimate authority, just cause, defense, liberty, genocide, prevention. Right intention, not greed or revenge, last resort. Likelihood of success, proportional means. And once war begins, jus in bello demands distinction. Combatants, not civilians, must be targeted. Actions must be proportionate. Torture remains forbidden. World War II is our anchor. It met nearly every just war condition. Nazis declared genocide. Diplomacy failed. Defeat was hope for liberty. Yes, civilian bombs were dropped, but proportion, intent, and aim were clear. It remains the paradigm for moral war. 1,000 years on, we teach it so it never happens again. So, what about Israel's preemptive attack on Iran? We ask, does it meet just war criteria? Legitimate authority? Yes. Just cause? Is imminent nuclear threat proven or used as political maneuver like Netanyahu delaying trial? Right intention? Defense or power? Last resort? Have all diplomacy and sanctions failed? Proportionality? What about innocent Iranian civilians? Likelihood of success? Destroying a program may not stop backlash or terrorism. In court, a preemptive strike is a tricky case. Augustine warned against punishing without true guilt. Aquinas tightened it. You need clear evidence. Does America face a tipping point? We haven't crossed it yet, but the machinery laws weaponized, GI soldiers policing streets, protests criminalized, begs a question: when do we stop protesting and start defending? Jefferson told colonists, you can toss off a corrupted government, but only when abuses become a train. Arendt traced this in Germany, noting how slowly and quietly a republic dies. We must ask hard questions before it's too late. Just war theory ends at peace, but we also need just post bellum restorative, not vengeful. Germany after WWII, Japan after WWII, they rebuilt with justice and transparency. A true peace isn't winners stacking bodies, it's survivors rebuilding trust. Here's the truth. War can be just, but only under a strict moral code. Revolutions can be necessary, but only if the moral contract is broken beyond repair. Nonviolent resistance is the first, most moral path. Violence, at best, is last resort and must be short, precise, and followed by healing. Jefferson believed in self-government, but he also believed conscience was the ultimate check. Our question today, do we still trust that conscience? Can we live into our founding ideals, not by words, but by actions? Thank you for watching. The Renaissance spirit exists to pressure history by conscience, by courage, by care. We look to the past to teach the future. Subscribe, notify, take our quiz, and most importantly, ask yourself, when is enough enough? Because thoughtful courage is the difference between democracy surviving and history condemning us for failing to act. Live the Renaissance spirit and choose wisely.